Hello, everyone. I am Bob Wurzelbacher, the director of the Respect Life Office for the Archdiocese of Cincinnati, and this is the first episode in our new series that we call Being Pro-Life. This is a series where each month we'll discuss another topic in the Respect Life arena. We'll hear a personal story from someone deeply affected by the issue, and we'll talk about how you can get involved. This month's topic is abortion, crisis pregnancy, and the great work that pregnancy care centers do in our communities. We have a special guest today. Her name is Magalia Frazier. Magalia, could you please introduce yourself to us?
Hi, my name is Magalia. I am a college student going to school for social work and sociology, and I will be graduating in May of 2019.
So Magalia has a very powerful story she would like to share with us today. And go ahead and bring us back a few years and let us know what happened.
Sure. It all started when I was 22 and I found out I was pregnant, and it wasn't a good time for me. I wasn't ready mentally. I was still in school. I was going to school to achieve my degree for social work, and I was working part-time, and I was also living with my mother. So I found out I was pregnant, and me and our father, we were still young in the mind, and we thought we knew everything about life, and we didn't know anything. So I was contemplating on getting an abortion. Our parents are really strict, and they have really high morals of us, and it just wasn't a good time. So, well, me being a struggling college student, we went to the Dollar Tree and we bought $3 pregnancy tests, and 2 of them came back positive and then 1 came back negative. So I wanted to make sure that I was indeed pregnant. So the first thing that we did is we Googled like pregnancy center or like abortion clinic. And Elizabeth New Life Center came up for us, the location in Dayton, and we scheduled an appointment and we went in that day. When we got there, it was, I guess, one of the best feelings, when I walked in. It was so warming, and they were willing to answer any questions that we had. And they were really eager to figure out what was going on. So I did the pregnancy test, and I was indeed pregnant. I was about 8 weeks pregnant, and I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that God thought of me so highly to bring a child into this world, even though I was young and naive and didn't know what was being asked of me as a person, as a woman. Once we heard the ultrasound and her heartbeat, I was overwhelmed with joy, but at the same time, I couldn't believe what was going on. At the time, had the contemplating thoughts of getting an abortion. I was 22 years old. I still had my whole life ahead of me, and just thinking of aborting a child because of a decision that I made in my life, which would change for the rest of my life. And I just couldn't believe it.
So obviously there's a lot of conflicting feelings going on here. You have that ultrasound, you can hear that baby's heartbeat, but at the same time, you know that your family, at least you're concerned that your family is not going to be happy about knowing that you have a baby right now. You and your boyfriend are not ready. There's a lot of conflicting emotions going on at the same time here.
Yes. So when we left there, I just held the ultrasound, and they gave me a packet, and I just kept going back to that packet. They gave me resources of the parenting classes that they offered. they had a Earn While You Learn program, which is you attend the parenting classes and you receive an incentive, which is like baby bucks that they call it. And the father can come too, so we'll receive double versus me just going by myself.
What are baby bucks?
It's like kind of like fake money, and they laminate it, and they have you can use those for the boutique that they offer, and you can buy the baby needs the baby items that you need for your baby. So
Oh.
like wipes, diapers, formula, baby rash cream, anything you can think of that you would need for your baby, it was there.
Great.
So I just kept going back and forth, like, okay, I'm not ready, I'm young. What if our parents are going to think of us? What about our church? What are they going to think of us? We're not married. Like, where do we go from here? So leaving there, I just, like I said, I just kept looking at the ultrasound, and I was amazed. And we couldn't tell our parents. It's just like they had these high expectations of us, and they wanted us to do better than them, and we wanted to, but we just had this one event that altered our I guess our mindsets for how our parents would accept us. So after that, my waist started expanding. I started getting the symptoms of the pregnancy, and I try to hide it the best way possible. But moms have this, like my mother had, she has this intuition, this mother's intuition that just came over. And she's like, something is wrong, but I'm just waiting on you to just come and tell me what's going on. Like, I'm not going to force you to tell me, but I know something's going on, and I'm just waiting on you to tell me.
So at this point, you're not decided yet what you want to do. You went to Elizabeth New Life Center. They gave you some hope for some resources and such, but you're still conflicted at this point as what you're going to do. Is that right?
That is correct. As I stated, I was going to school. I was living off of minimum wage at a part-time. I was working at a Party City store. How can I take care? I could barely take care of myself. How can I take care of a whole nother person?
Right.
And so once we left there, I was like, well, maybe we should just get an abortion. Maybe we can just get rid of the baby and just not worry about it. We won't even have to tell our parents, and our parents will never know. So we called the abortion clinic and we scheduled an appointment. And the lady advised over the phone that we have to have $250 to even have a consult with the medical professions that were there.
How much did it cost you to visit the Elizabeth New Life Center?
It was free.
Including the ultrasound, it was all free.
The ultrasound and the pregnancy tests were all free of service.
And it cost you over $200 to make an appointment at the abortion center.
That is correct.
Okay. Wow.
So once we were there, we gave them the money that we had. And when I went in the room, the lady had the screen that was towards me as I was laying down on the bed. And once she put the machine on my belly or my lower abdominal, she turned the screen away from me so I couldn't see my baby.
Wow.
She's like, yeah, you are pregnant. You are about 8 weeks. And I said, okay. And she said, well, we'll have you come back in 2 weeks and we'll go ahead and do the procedure, but you'll need an additional $250.
That's $500 in total for this.
$500. Yes.
Wow. So what happened then?
When I was at the abortion clinic, we were in the waiting room and I asked the lady, well, what do you do with the babies after the procedure? And she just told me we throw them away. And even though I wasn't ready to have a baby, I know that my baby didn't deserve to go in the trash can because of a decision that I made, a poor decision that I made at the time.
Right. My goodness, in a trash can. That's just even hard to imagine.
Yes. So we went in the waiting room to schedule our second appointment, and there were so many other women in my same situation, and they were crying. A lot of them were weak because they got the procedure done and they were waiting on someone to pick them up. And a few ladies even walked out before they even were even being seen. And I guess I picked up on the atmosphere and the demeanor of everything, and that played a big, huge part also. So we scheduled the appointment. My appointment was 2 weeks later, and we left out, and there was this lady on the sidewalk, and her words still like bring chills on my skin to this day. And she's like, have a voice for that baby. That baby will bring you so much joy. Just think, think it over. Think twice about the decision that you're going to make. And I just thought she was crazy. She had this big old cross hanging outside of her car window, and the car had all type of bumper stickers about abortion and finding life, and just something you just wouldn't see on the everyday today basis of life. And she had so much impact on my decision and how I was feeling that day. So when we were leaving, um, I did receive the ultrasound for the abortion clinic, and I just I was just overwhelmed with so much emotion. I just started crying, and I just I just wish I could thank that lady, because she had a big major impact on me having that second thought. And even though I was young and I didn't know what was being expected of me, I still could have I still could have my baby and be young and go to school and have still obtain those high goals and those expectations that my parents had for both of us.
Right. I know who that lady is.
You do?
I do. I could get you two together.
Oh my gosh.
I could absolutely do that. But let's go back. Let's go on to the story.
Oh, that's so cool.
Do
Okay.
that.
She
So,
can meet Ariane.
okay, so yes, absolutely. That would be great. She would love to.
Okay.
So so you're walking out of the abortion clinic. You didn't actually speak with her, but you heard her, and that affected you in ways that she obviously doesn't know yet.
Yes.
So are you with your boyfriend at this time?
Yes.
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 Okay.
We're both walking out and we're heading to the car, and we got in the car and I asked him, I said, well, what do you want to do? Like, he said, it's your body. I can't make you do something that you don't want to do. I don't have any control over that. But he did say, I will be there no matter what. Whatever decision you make, I'll be there for you no matter what.
So how did you feel about that? What did you want him to say? And how did you feel about what he said?
I guess him reassuring me that he's going to be there no matter what, it just, it made me feel empowered, I guess you could say,
Yes.
to actually go on and like, okay, well, we can do this. We're a team. We're going to go ahead and take care of this, and we're going to do it the best way possible that we know how.
Right. I've heard women in situations like that, when the man says, well, I can't tell you what to do. It's your body. It's your decision, that they would prefer to not feel like the decision is all yours to make. They would feel better if they knew that they were making the decision together, instead of saying, it's your decision to make, not mine.
Right.
I don't know. Were you feeling that at the same time? Or did you just appreciate that he said, whatever you decide, I'll support you?
I think I was just wanting him to step up and say, hey, we can do this. But he
Right.
kind of left the door open for him to say, well, it is your decision. It's your body. So I can't make you do anything you don't want to do.
Right. Okay. So what happened next?
While we were driving back home, he was dropping me off to my house. Um, I hid the ultrasound so my mom wouldn't see it, and went back home, and I just cried. I just cried for hours, and I cried myself to sleep because I was pregnant, and a decision that I made would have a big impact in a I didn't think it over. I just was thinking about myself. I was being selfish. I was 22 and didn't know where to go. I didn't tell my mom. And this was a person. This was someone that had a heartbeat. This was someone that had fingers and toes and a brain, everything that was going on. It was just too much. And I just cried for hours and hours. And it came 2 weeks later came, and it was the day of the abortion appointment. And I never had morning sickness, never. That day I woke up, I was sick to my stomach. My knees were buckling. I could barely walk. And I made a decision, and I called that abortion clinic, and I told them to cancel my appointment and that I was going to be someone's mother. And I told them, I said, I want my money back because I'm going to
Right.
need that to take care of my baby. And she's like, no, you already paid for your consultation, and that's it. And she hung up on me.
Wow. So there wasn't even any compassion in there at that center, at least with you.
No compassion. And that money, I mean, it sounds so small, but at that time, and like I said, I was working part-time and I was making minimum wage, $7.30. That was a lot. And I wanted to use that to help take care of my baby that I was gonna have.
Right. $250 is a lot of work to come by in that
Yes.
situation, especially.
So after I called the abortion clinic, I did follow up with Elizabeth New Life Center. I scheduled an appointment with their parenting classes, and I immediately started taking the parenting classes after I decided that I was going to go forth with having my child. At first, her father, he did come with some of the appointments if he wasn't working, but eventually he stopped coming. And that hurt me so much because he promised me that we were going to do this together, and whatever decision I made, he was going to support it, and he wasn't there anymore. I was doing everything by myself.
So while you were still pregnant, he stopped coming to these classes with you?
Yes.
Yeah, before the child even came. So now you're doing this alone.
Yeah. We, like, as I was showing and going through with the pregnancy, like, our relationship got really rocky. And the Elizabeth New Life Center, the Pregnancy Resource Center, they had counseling, and I went there and talked to someone, and I just told them, like, I just made this decision to have this baby, and I don't know if he's going to be there. I don't know if he promised me that we're going to do this together, and now I'm coming to the classes by myself, and he only comes around when it's convenient for him. And I just told myself that I could do this. And I eventually told our parents, and they gave us so much encouraging words, and they were more happy that we didn't get an abortion. Um, but at the same time, you could still feel the resentment a little bit, like, oh, she's not going to finish school. He's not going to finish school. You know, what are they going to do with this baby? They're barely taking care of themselves. And that still play a part. It still actually play a part to me to this day, because I'm 28 now, and I will be graduating 6 years later after the fact. But
Hey, amen, hallelujah. You're going to be graduating soon. That's really,
yeah.
really wonderful. That's awesome. We are
Yeah.
jumping ahead a little bit though right now.
Okay.
So so you told your family,
Mhm.
they were glad that you didn't get an abortion, but they
Yes.
weren't perhaps as supportive as you would hope.
Yes.
That but the pregnancy care center that you went to, they continue to offer you classes and try to give you what you needed to take care of your child.
That is correct.
Okay.
As I was taking the parenting classes, um, her father stopped coming, and I was doing everything by myself. And the last thing that we needed, there was a crib. There's a program that I took up. They also have a prenatal care provider, and it's in the same building, but it's upstairs. And they had a program called Sweet Dreams, and there was like 5 sessions where I had to show up, and they had some stipulations of, you know, not doing drugs or anything of that sort. And I took those 5 sessions. They were about 2 to 3 hours long, and I was overwhelmed with the joy because I had everything for my baby except for a crib. And I finished that program and I received the crib all by myself.
Wow. That's great.
Yes.
That's great. You got a
Yeah.
crib. That would have been a lot of work to save up some money for a crib.
Yeah, those things are not cheap. And it turned into a toddler bed. So that was a big relief for
Oh,
me. Yes.
I have one of those too. It's a crib that becomes it so you're set for years.
Yes.
Right. That's great.
Yes.
Okay, so you got the crib. Now maybe take us to the birth, perhaps.
The birth. Okay. So um I believe it was, well, I lost my mucus plug, and I was like, oh my God, I thought I was losing the baby. I thought it was a piece of the baby or something. And I
Oh,
was like, what is going on? Like, I knew they, like in the parenting class, I knew they taught me that, but I guess just not really knowing, that being my first time, I was scared. I panicked. So I called them, and they have a 24-hour hotline where you could call and talk to a nurse on site.
right.
And she's like, "Oh, you're fine. The baby's fine. Your baby's coming." I was like, "She's doing what?" "She's on her way. Like, you're going to have her soon." So I was like, "Okay, I'm not really ready for this."
Oh no.
So yeah. So her father actually was there that day, and the nurse told us to walk. So she's like, "Go to the mall, walk in your neighborhood to get that baby going down into the birth canal." And I was like, "Birth canal? What are you talking about?" So she's like, "Just keep walking, just keep walking." So then I did eventually, I felt the Braxton Hicks contractions, and I was like, "Ooh, I don't know if I'm ready for this." So I was walking and I was walking, and then um, she said, "Do you have your overnight bag packed?" And I said, "Yes, ma'am, I do. It's waiting for me at the door." So the cramps started getting worse, and then they started getting closer, and it was our time to go to the hospital.
Okay.
And the good thing about it is the nurses that were there during the pregnancy for my doctor's appointments when I was doing the prenatal care through their Holy Family program, they were there. So it wasn't like I seen someone that was, you know, I didn't know them. They were actually there. They were teaching me breathing techniques. I was bouncing on the ball, and when Ari was born, the consultant that I had at Elizabeth New Life Center, she came to the hospital.
Oh, that's great.
She bought her first outfit and her first Easter outfit, and she gave
Wow.
me a card and congratulated me through everything that I've gone through, and that she was very happy for me.
I'm sure you didn't get any visits from the abortion center.
Oh, no.
I'm sure.
No.
Okay.
So after I left the hospital, they have a lactation consultant that helped me learn how to breastfeed,
Okay.
and that was cool. I was just overwhelmed with everything that was going on, and it was just too much. And then her dad came, and I felt a little bit better, but I was still kind of apprehensive of him being there because he would come when it was convenient for him.
Right. Things weren't going really well with him at this moment.
Yeah, it was really rocky.
Right.
So after we left the hospital, I had my 6-week checkup, and they took a picture of my baby and they put us on their wall. So at Elizabeth New Life Center, so all the babies that they deliver, they go on the wall and they have the year that they were born.
Great.
Yeah, so that's cool.
So you have it on the wall.
Yes. And so after you have your baby, it's not just for when you're pregnant or before you have the baby. They have parenting classes that you could go to after you have the baby to keep earning the items that you need for your child. So I went to those classes, and it was just me and her. And she gave me the skills that I knew I probably wouldn't have if her father was there. Just seeing her just gave me the strength to keep going and to keep doing what I was doing, to go back to school and to be the mother that my mom was, or even better. And it was just me and her, and that's all I needed.
Wow. So you got a lot of support from the Elizabeth New Life Center
Yes.
to be a mom and take care of your child.
Yes,
Right.
that is correct. And I remember times where Ari was sick, and I could call them and say, hey, I don't know what's going on. She's not holding her food down. And then they said, we'll schedule an appointment with a doctor. Like they were still there after I had the baby. They weren't just there for the baby. They were there for me too.
Right. Sometimes perhaps people hear that criticism, that they think if someone is trying to help someone make a choice and not choose abortion, the only thing they focus on is the baby. They don't care about the mother. They just want to save the baby. That's a criticism. But your experience is that they were concerned about you. They were concerned about your situation and your ability to parent this child.
Yeah, they were more concerned about my well-being, because if I wasn't 100%, how could I be the mother for the child to be 100%?
Right. Absolutely. So now you have this beautiful child.
Yes. Now I have this, my daughter, she is 6 years old now. And just looking back, I still have the hurt from her father. I actually had to get in restraining order because things just got even worse, and it wasn't healthy for her. It wasn't healthy for me, and I had to do what was best for me and for her, for our safety.
Wow, that's hard to hear. So now you're not only did you break off your relationship with the father, but you had to put a restraining order because he was physically abusive, I guess.
More verbally, and like
Okay.
stalking and different things of that sort. Yes.
Okay. What's your daughter's name?
Her name is Ariane.
Ariane. Tell us about Ariane. What's she like, this beautiful 6-year-old?
Oh my gosh. She's like she's like an angel that God sent to me. And it still hurts me to this day that I even thought every time I see her, she just has this light that I just I just didn't never knew that someone could have. She has this like automatic energy that anywhere she goes, like people gravitate to her and they love her.
Right.
She's
That is
just,
so, that's just so beautiful hearing you describe your daughter like that.
yeah. And even though when things get tough and, you know, I'm at the point where I want to give up, I can just look at her and I just get this energy. Like, I don't know. It's like you have your regular energy, then you have your mommy energy, and then the last stage is like you're running on fumes.
Right.
So just see her, I'm running on fumes, and I just look at her, and she just gives me this energy, this other type of energy, just to keep going, just not to give up, and she believes in me, and it could be the smallest thing that I do. Like I remember she had like a rock in her shoe or something, and her foot was hurting, and I got it out, and she's like, "Mommy, you are the best. You saved me like I was a superhero." And it's just the best feeling knowing that me and her are together and we're tackling the world.
Right. Let's just show just a little snippet, right, of a video that we have of them so that everyone here can get a little bit picture of you with your daughter.
Okay.
I love you.
I love you.
I love you more.
Love you more.
I love you infinity.
I love you, my family.
I love you always.
I love you always.
Mwah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So there she is, showing you interacting with your daughter. That's wonderful. So she's in kindergarten now,
Yes.
right? And
Yes.
you're parenting her on your own. There's no contact with the biological father.
He comes and goes like
Okay.
for Christmas and her birthday, things of that sort, but no, not really.
But not really. Okay. Tell us a little bit more then about the resources that the pregnancy care centers have, Elizabeth New Life Center has, and how it is that they can help someone who's in a similar situation you were in.
Well, when you come in, you get your free pregnancy test and your free ultrasound. That's the first step. And the parenting classes, those are free. You don't have to do anything for those, no payment or anything. You just have to show up. You just have to show up. That's all really. If the parenting classes that they offer on the calendar, they have classes every day of the week, and they give you a calendar of all the different classes that are available. You could come if your personal schedule, your work schedule doesn't work with that. They do have the videos where you could come and do the videos, and you can earn the items that you need for your baby for that also. They have a Hope Project for the women that have had an abortion. They have counseling for that. They have programs for the fathers when they come. They help the fathers also earn the baby bucks for their child. They have the prenatal care that they have. Those are free of service. You do have to have insurance to obtain the services there. However, if you don't have it, they give you a grace period from, I think, up to 90 days where you can still receive care that you need, because they care about you and the baby. So they won't just like leave you hanging or anything. They help you get the Medicaid that you need for your baby and for yourself.
All right. So they really take care of you, whatever your financial situation is. Most
Yes.
things are free. but if it's not, they try to help you get the Medicaid in order to get the services you need to have.
That is correct. They also have a emergency material assistance. So if you don't have the money, you need diapers or you need wipes or even formula, you can get those items 3 times per the baby life. Um, you just have to bring your identification and the baby's identification, and then you can receive those that emergency help for free.
All right, let me take a moment here and share with everybody how it is that you can find out where the pregnancy care center is that is closest to you. If you're listening to the podcast, you can't see this, but go to www.catholiccincinnati.org. And from there, right on the top, click on Ministries and Offices so that you can go to the Respect Life office. Scroll down here to Respect Life. And then one of the links down here in the bottom is Pregnancy Center Coalition. At the pregnancy centers, that's where you'll find right here at the top, Greater Cincinnati locations and Miami Valley locations. So click on either one of those links, depending on whether you are in Cincinnati or in the Dayton or northern area of the Archdiocese. And there's this brochure called You Are Not Alone that we update a couple times per year. And you can hear the list of all the pregnancy care centers that we are in relationship with. And you can see what is closest to you: Lebanon, the West Side, the East Side, Georgetown, Harrison, Hillsborough. And you can help support them in whatever way that, that you can. Volunteer hours, monetary donations, however it is you want to help them. Okay, Magalia. So tell us about what's going on right now in your life. So your daughter is now 6 years old. She's in kindergarten. So what's happening right now?
So I put my education on hold to be the mother that I am today, but I picked it up, and now I'm back in school. I'm almost done with school. I have one more, well, not one more semester, but one more year, and I'll be a double major. And I'm engaged. I got engaged on Christmas Day.
Oh, you're engaged. That's exciting. Wow. So when are you going to, so you're going to graduate in a year. So what is that, like May of 2019?
May of 2019, yes, sir.
Okay. And you're getting married. When are you going to get married? Do you have a date?
Sometime next year, but no date in mind.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Not just yet.
Okay. So how long have you known this lucky young man?
Yes, his name is David, and we've known each other since first grade.
Oh.
Yeah. But we really, didn't think more of it, but I just kept bumping into him after we graduated from high school, after we graduated from middle school. We even went to middle school together too. And then we didn't go to high school, but we bumped into each other at college also. And I'm like, why do I keep bumping into him? Right. So I was like, well, maybe that's just God's way of telling me, hey, this is a good guy.
Holy Spirit keeps throwing you guys into each other.
Yes. This is my ring.
Oh, that is beautiful. I love it. I love it.
You.
If you're listening to the podcast, I'm sorry you can't see it, but it is a beautiful ring.
Thank you. He did a good job.
Oh, yes. He did a beautiful job. That is a great ring. So you look very excited and happy about your life. You're getting ready to graduate. Your daughter is 6. She's in school. You're getting engaged. Things are just all coming together for you.
Yes.
You have a good job?
Oh, yes. I work at Elizabeth New Life Center, and all the overwhelming help and support that they gave me, I want to give back to the ladies that will come into our doors. So I'm just eager on learning more and just empowering them and encouraging them that I was there. Like, I know.
Right.
I know firsthand. I was on the front line. Like, I know. So I'm here to encourage you and just like open you up, because a lot of girls come and they're kind of hesitant. So kind of just, maybe show a picture of Ari or something like that to get them talking, to get them engaged to want to talk to us more so we can be there for them.
Right. That's a great story. So you received some help from them, and now you're inspired, and you want to
Yeah.
give back
Give
and
back.
do the same thing for others. That's such a beautiful story. It's the way God works.
Yes.
He inspires us to give the way we have received.
Yes.
So what are some of the ways that if a person wanted to help and get involved in any way, how can we help the Elizabeth New Life Center or other pregnancy care centers that are near us? What are
The major thing is volunteering. Like a lot of the people that come in, they're volunteers. And I had volunteers that helped me when I was coming in. And I was thinking they were like employees, but they were actually volunteers.
what do volunteers do?
The volunteers, they come in, they can work in a women's center, they can volunteer in, they can do a consultation. They can do a consultation. They can babysit for the parenting classes. We have free babysitting if you want your baby to be babysat while you're learning the skills that you need to be a parent.
Right.
They help with our banquets. They help with any like of the paperwork or anything like the behind the scenes work here at the administrative office. They help with like filing papers, sending out mailings, different things of that sort. And it's just great.
I think they also sort clothes and things like
Oh
that
yes.
as well, right?
Yes. Yes, we even have students come in and sort clothes for the boutique, and there's a lot of ladies that do like I can't say that word. Sororities. They come in and they knit blankets for the babies, and they knit clothes and hats for the babies, and they just donate it to the our company for the boutique also.
Right. So there are all. So if you can knit, if you can sort, if you can add and subtract, right? If you
Yes.
can counsel, there's all kinds of. If you love to watch babies,
Yes.
there's all kinds of skills that can be useful at your local pregnancy care center.
Yes.
Right. That's great. Okay. So just
Oh, donations.
oh,
Donations are huge. If you have old baby items that you don't use anymore or anything of that sort, that is how we prosper. Like everything, like a lot of the things that I received were donated and they were in great condition. Or even some of the things that they donated were brand new. And just the donations, that's another major thing too.
And I know from experience, a lot of times if those babies will outgrow their clothes before the clothes are bad.
Yes, yes, that is so true. So even when I receive the items, I will use the items that I need, and then I will donate it back
Right.
to back to the Elizabeth New Life Center.
Right. And I'm sure they can also use, although the primary thing is volunteer hours and whatever time you can give or donation of items, but I'm sure you can also use monetary donations.
Monetary, yes.
If you can do that as well. Right. I'll put in a plug right now. The first Sunday of October, the Archdiocese has a collection called for the Respect Life Fund, and many pregnancy care centers apply for funds from that Respect Life Fund. So if you do give to that fund at a Catholic church on the first Sunday of October, then those monies will be forwarded to various pregnancy care centers across the Archdiocese as well. So that's another way to give. All right, Magalia, it was terrific meeting and speaking with you this morning. Do you have anything else that you want to share today?
I remember in one of the parenting classes that I attended, we had it was a Bible study class, and we all had to write a letter to our unborn child. And I remember saying that I wanted Ari to go to a private school, and I wanted her to wear the uniforms and the little fancy bows that they wear in their hair. And I just was telling her how much I loved her and that I hope she can forgive me. She would find out that I was going to, I guess, have an abortion or terminate the pregnancy, and that I wouldn't want her to hold me accountable for that, but just to understand that I was young and I didn't understand what was going on, but I did make the right decision, and I'm glad to have her. And that letter it sticks with me today, and I actually found it and I read it to her, and I didn't read about the abortion because she's too young for that, but
Right.
I read about how much I loved her and her wanting to grow up and get married and do the things that my parents wished for me, which I'm wishing it for her. And she just hugged me. Like, that's all she could do, and that's what I needed. Like, I was so happy that I found that letter, and I'm going to save it and treasure it for forever.
That's a beautiful story too. So that's a beautiful story too. I'm glad you got a chance to share that with us, how you shared that with your daughter. So that was recently, probably, you shared that with your daughter?
Yes. I had a notebook that I took all my notes in, and at the parenting classes, and I held on to it, and it's like 5 pages in there, and it was all raggedy and all messed up, and I just stumbled upon it, and I was looking through it, and I seen it, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is the letter that I wrote to her 6 years ago, and it was all yellow and everything. So I think I'm gonna get it laminated.
Oh,
Baby book.
that's okay, Magalia. Tell us, what would you like to say to, if there's a woman going through a difficult pregnancy and they're not sure what to do? What would you want to say to them?
You can do it. I did it. I'm still doing it. Just be positive, and you can do it. Like, God is there. Sometimes I had to pray. A lot of times I had to pray, and you can do it. Just be open to the pregnancy resources that are available. I didn't necessarily have the support that I needed, and I found the support with the Elizabeth New Life Center.
Great. You can do it. That
Yes.
is a great message.
Yes.
The message of hope. Well, I hope that people find I know I am very inspired by your story. I love that smile you have. I love to hear you talk about your daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like an incredible relationship. She's an incredible gift, I'm sure, to you, your family, and this world.
Yes.
And will continue to be as she grows up and grows older. Well, thank you for spending some time with us this morning. Have a terrific day, and may God bless you. And I hope and we'll have to get you together with that woman that you saw in the parking lot. We'll have to make that happen sometime soon. Okay. Have a great day. Talk to you later, Magalia.
You
Bye.
too. Bye.